like, for almost everything, if I want it, it's either a passing thing or I've gotten it in my life because it wasn't that complicated. Woo! Holy fucking shit! What did you just do? You are spinning on a fucking dime! God damn!
I've never done that before!
Holy shit. Future Sacred rendered that out into a short. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
I don't remember what we're talking about. Ooh, welcome back to Tony Chef Gaming, the only show on the internet that is sponsored by Butt Stuff. Butt Stuff, don't call it ass play because this is serious business.
G'day, buddy.
Is that our parents?
No,
This is my boyfriend, Duncan.
I'm not sure who these people are.
This is my
It's our sister!
We have a fucking sister?
You picked a bad day to visit our
He's not good enough for her.
No, I don't trust this guy.
That guy, he's
Get
just
away from our sister,
yeah,
Duncan.
he's just looking for some tail. Let us go after our sister for some tail. Wait a second.
Hold on, that didn't sound right.
Start these emergency generators.
But it's fine. We're a Tasmanian tiger. Tasmanian tigers probably have incestuous relationships, right?
That might be why they went extinct.
I'll take care
I mean, not impossible. Here's a question for you that there's no good answer for.
Uh-oh. That's never a good question.
No. How closely related to you do people have to be for you to consider them to be related to you?
I was getting ready to say, like, at all. Assuming this was an incest question? I'm assuming this is still an incest question.
Not necessarily.
Are you sure you're not just asking me how many degrees of separation they need to be
before I can
I'm like...
fuck my family?
Yeah.
No. So here's the thing, right? Like, technically, yes. Because you're related to literally everyone. You and I, we are a family. And not just like... We're not blood brothers because I'm too much of a pansy to, like, cut my hand open and shake hands with you. But if I wasn't, I absolutely would. Because, like, I consider you as close a family as any of my, like, legit family.
I mean, I'm right there with you, bro.
But, like, at the same time, if theoretically I had to choose, like, okay, if you don't have sex with either my actual literal little brother or Sacred, who are you going to pick? It's like, okay, well, fine.
Yeah, I guess.
So, like, on that end, like, obviously we're not actually quite as related as me and my literal blood, super close blood relatives. But, like, not necessarily just for, like, sexual reasons. Just, like, because, like, for me, you know, obviously, like, you know, my parents, duh. Siblings, of course.
Right.
First cousins, definitely. You know, like, my first cousin's children, they're definitely, like, people I consider related to me.
Uh-huh.
My grandparents, great-grandparents, that kind of stuff. But it starts to get more iffy, because it's like my parents' cousins. One of my parents' cousins... Oh, wait, more koalas! Check them out.
I say I'm getting less and less convinced that the infrared does anything, but I'm gonna try it every time.
Well, yeah, 'cause we just got to see at least one. No, it's not doing anything.
Motherfucker.
Oh, wait a second. What was that behind there? To the left? Oh, that was just a plant. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was, like, actually something. Because, like, my 4th grade teacher was my dad's cousin.
Okay.
And, like, so she's related to me. Sort of. And I consider her a relative. Sort of.
Right.
Or, I mean, I did. She's passed away now, unfortunately. Like, so, like, yeah, we're sort of related. I feel like there's, like, 3 stages. So it's, like, definitely related. My parents, my grandparents, great-grandparents, my cousins and their kids, you know, my siblings, all that kind of stuff. Those are definitely people that I'm related to.
Yes.
Then there's, like, the sort of related to people. Like my parents' cousins. Like my parents' aunts and uncles that I've never met before. You know, that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, we're sort of related.
Okay.
And there's people who I'm not related to. Who literally, yes, I am related to, you know, if we're going strictly like, do we have at least one common ancestor? Yeah, we do. Like, that's literally everybody in the world. And not just everybody, every animal in the world, too.
I mean...
So, like, sure, I'm technically related by blood to my cat Tigress. and your cat Chopper. But I don't consider them, like, close blood family.
Sure.
But it's like, where do you draw that line? And I'm not sure, but it's somewhere outside of, like, people who are directly related to my parents and grandparents.
Sure. So is there anything you want to tell me about your relationship with one of your cousins? Because it seems like you've really thought about this at length.
No, I haven't. And also, I don't have... Well, that's not true. I have, like, basic cousin relationships with my cousins. They're all, like... Well, not all of them. Some of them are, like, my friends and stuff. Like, I don't have anything deeper than that. It's just curiosity.
I mean, I suppose if I'm indulging the thought experiment, it would have to be people who... The people that you're related to have to, like, consider themselves related to them. You know?
That's fair. That actually is probably... Anyone that I consider myself, like, directly related to... The people those people consider themselves directly related to, or that would reasonably be considered directly related to those people. Any of those people I'm related to.
Once you hit the group that it's like, no one is like, oh yeah, that's my cousin. Once the group of once the cousin lineage ends, so too does the burden of not trying to be incestuous.
No, that's fair. The reason that comes up, actually... a coworker of mine and I were looking at something that I heard years ago, but I didn't really look into at the time and didn't really look that far into this time either because we were at work. But there was a thing that came out, or maybe it was already old and it just came back up through the news cycle. But it's about how, like, all the U.S. presidents are related.
Right.
Which is, like, part of a conspiracy about, oh, they're all related.
Yeah.
But, like, that, but it's, like, it's not just, like, a few presidents. Like, literally every single one. It's like, and this feels bad to single him out because he is the only black one, but like Barack Obama is just as in there as anybody else, and also like he's got a white parent, so like that's part of the reason he's so closely related to all the other. But I think the most distantly related one is like Martin Van Buren or something, and that's because he doesn't have English ancestry at all.
Right.
And so like, they're all related. It's like, yeah, but if you're like fucking seventh cousins with somebody. Are you actually related, or are you just literally related?
Right.
Because it's like, yeah, you know, if I had the ability to trace my family tree back far enough, I could trace my family tree back and then trace it back down, and I could find my wife on there.
Right.
Somewhere. It's just how that works. But why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you want to know that? I don't know how many, you know... away apart I am from my wife, and I don't want to know. I know the answer is more than a few.
Yeah.
Which is enough for me.
For sure. 100% with you there. No, I'm with you.
Man, I really killed this episode, didn't I?
Yeah, you did kind of stop it in its tracks, not gonna lie.
Happens to the best of us, though.
It does. I've definitely, I mean...
Yeah, sometimes something just pops into your brain, you're just like, I'm just curious.
It's gotta come out,
In the comments, where do you draw the line? And if the answer is before this part of the episode, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make this some weird incestuous thing. Legitimately.
Yeah.
You know, that is also kind of funny.
It is. In a horrible way, it's kind of funny.
Man.
God, it's okay. In a few episodes ago, I talked about shitting myself, like, at length for a while.
That's true. But that was in Inuyasha. A totally different series that maybe they didn't see.
That's
if you haven't seen Inuyasha legitimately, though, I recommend watching it. Not because it's us. Just because I actually think it's, like, a good series.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite series we've ever done.
Same? If there's one I think is better than that, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's just the perfect combination. It's good, but not so good there's nothing to say. It's bad, but not so bad it's just insufferable to play.
Alright.
Because, like, Kong. Kong was fun in some aspects.
Yeah.
Kong was completely insufferable in other aspects. Parts of it were probably barely watchable.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. If you want to see us play more bad games like Kong, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know, I guess.
I
and what you
downloaded-
want us to play.
I downloaded, I think, 2 PS2 Godzilla games and a PS2 Kong game.
Mm-hmm.
And something else, I think, of the same, like, kind of vein. That, granted, I don't know if they're good or bad, but they're probably bad, let's be real.
Right.
There are licensed Godzilla/Kong games.
Right.
So, I mean, if you want to see us try those out, you know, I don't have an adversity to try them. I'm not going to guarantee we're going to play them all. Holy shit, that guy's jacked!
God damn, I want to be just like him when I grow up.
Bro, I got bad news for you. We're already grown, man.
God. Now, if I want to play, here's a plug. I don't know this guy, but I watched one of his videos and he seemed pretty cool. Is Master Argo or Argus or something like that. I'll put a channel up here. He made a video on Kong, which is how I found it. It was like recommended through all of our stuff, and he had been like looking at all the Kong games apparently, including like the 2005 licensed Kong game, like of the Peter Jackson film, and he said that one's like actually pretty freaking solid. So it makes me like really curious. Like I know we talked about playing it on when we were playing through Kong. But I'm actually really curious to play that on the show now. Because I'd love to play a good Kong game.
I mean,
back in there.
It's certainly possible. On the one hand, the idea just sounds ridiculous, especially after having played Skull Island.
Right.
Because, like, that was so bad. Not so bad, like, it couldn't have been good. I feel like with the right time and the right vision, it could have been good. Mm-hmm. Maybe not, like, amazing. Does he?
Isn't that right, mate?
I don't think that's right at all, actually.
Or a jackaroo.
The fuck's a jackaroo?
Jacks off a lot?
The small town of Gunna, mate. The locals need your help putting out the flames.
Got it. So I should use my ice ring, or get the fucking thermo bun. Yep, not helicopter.
Are you sure? Are you sure I shouldn't use the firefighting mech? Nah, helicopters. They're way better. Koalas. 5-second late koalas.
I'm guarantee.
No, it's got to be the wrong thing. I looked up like 3 different things talking about them, and they didn't. Let me, because I'm actually still basically on it. Here we go. Here's a game facts. Game facts never lies.
Hell yeah.
This guy's in 2 parts. First part is how to get spy missions started. Second part is to show all the. Apparently, there's only 25 thrills.
Yeah,
spies.
like 25 of them.
You do have to have the infrarang or X-rang.
Then I don't know why it's not working. Because I guarantee we've scanned enough that like we should have hit one of them.
Well, no, because we talked to the police guy who tells you about the mission, right?
Yeah.
And we need to go talk to Dennis, it says. And by the sand mounds, use your infrarang or X-rang, and the frill spy will show. So we have to find a specific frill spy to start with, and then it would start showing up in the generic koalas. Which technically means if we don't ever find that spy, there are no spies.
Yeah, so...
And the mission is complete.
Yeah, problem solved.
So, man, we're fucking great at this.
Yeah.
Fucking police, whatever his name was, and Dennis. Fuck those guys. They don't know anything about fighting crime.
Well, I guess we'll go do that then. Because I don't think I talked to Dennis. I only think I've talked to Dennis for like mission shit. So let me go fucking talk to Dennis, and maybe he'll tell me to fucking do it. Since we're gonna go back to town anyway.
Maybe. Every time you grind on a rail, live and learn just starts blaring in my head.
God, I'm surprised you and Grant haven't played any Sonic games on the show yet.
I think we're going to soon. I don't know for sure. It really just depends on like what we decide at the time. Because we just finished Wind Waker. It's probably out by now. It's not out as of this recording session, but it is uploaded and done. And since it should be out, or it definitely will be out actually, because it's all scheduled already. Spoilers for Wind Waker. Skip like 30 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear this spoiler. Creighton played literally the entirety of Wind Waker without me touching the controller a single time. And then he fought Ganon like 4 times, died every time, and then I fought Ganon once and beat him.
Hi there, neighbor.
We must have done it already.
Well, it's gotta be one of these guys then, right?
It says out by Sandmound, so maybe? I don't see
Let me
nothing
go
weird
talk to
about
the
any of
cop
those
again. Maybe
guys.
when we left the area, it like turned it off.
Deactivated the mission.
Maybe.
He told, like if he told us to go talk to Dennis and then we didn't.
G'day, mate. Now, we have it on good authority that
Yeah.
Spy is feeding information back to
We good on that? We got that.
trouble around town.
Yes,
Yeah.
to avoid detection, this bounder is using a disguisatron.
Didn't you invent that, Julius?
Yes, but that evil Cass has started producing...
Oh yeah, because he has sweatshops.
Yeah.
That fucking asshole. Luckily, I would never have anything sweatshop related as I type on my iPhone.
When you're armed with the right ring, the spy should stand out like a sore thumb. Good luck, mate.
Okay.
Alright, so that was definitely the same. So he didn't tell us if he like reactivated the mission, but talking to Dennis now should fix it if it didn't already.
Oh, now, okay. Yeah, look at that fucker.
How does he think he's gonna get away with this? First of all, there's no way that this could possibly work. That disguise is fucking garbage.
Right. Also, as far as they're concerned, we just killed a man.
That's true. They don't know.
Isn't it?
Alright, well there you go. That's what it looks like
Yeah.
if a frill is actually a koala.
Yeah.
No, other way around. If a koala is actually a frill, that's what it looks like. We're not going to go seek out the other 25 koala frills, especially now that we've played almost the whole game.
Yeah.
And
No, it's way too
didn't
late.
find them.
Mate, you caught the spy red-handed. We'll be taking this fella.
Now there's 24 more.
You will not be taking him in for questioning. I guarantee it. That man is dead. You know, I've killed a man or two in my time, and that man...
Cadaverific.
God, honestly though, in the grand scheme of things, not specifically to Dragon Ball, not specifically to internet culture, not anything like that small. The overall, overarching, like, addition to our reality, Cadaverific, TFS's biggest
Fucking contribution to
Contribution?
society. I use it so regularly, sometimes I forget that it's a word that they made up.
Yeah, Cadaverific, fucking amazing. And
God.
I fucking love DBZA anyway. I've seen the whole show. It's fucking, well, I was gonna say it's all great. It's not all great.
Yeah.
The beginning parts are questionable. The middle parts are good, and then the end parts are really, really good.
My favorite season is still Namek.
That's fair. Namek has a lot of really good parts on it. I don't think overall that it beats out the Cell Saga.
Right.
But it does have some really funny stuff. There's some really funny stuff in the Saiyan Saga too, but overall it's so questionable in quality that I would struggle to place it even close to Namek or the Cell Saga.
Right.
Like, overall, the whole show is good. Part of me, because, like, tons of people have done it, and TFS is totally cool with it. Part of me is like, man, we should just make a DBZA reaction series. But, like, I've seen literally the whole show.
Right.
And Sacred has seen almost the whole show. Crandon has seen literally the whole show.
All right.
It's like, what are we reacting to? Ha! This show that I like is funny.
Yeah. God. Well, because I feel like the reason I like Namek so much is because like it feels like the most random bits just stick with me the most. Like one of my favorite jokes in the entire show was when Krillin kept trying to get Team 3-Star to be a thing.
Yeah.
Vegeta was like watching the Mega Wish on the Dragon Balls, and he's like, "Alright, I'm gonna wait for them to summon the dragon, and then I'm gonna jump out and I kill the bald one. Totally gonna be a Team 3-Star when I do it too." And then in his head, he's just like, "Team 3-Star!" Amazing.
Yeah.
In my head, I think about that all the fucking time. God damn, they're almost fucking dead. I gotta.
Yeah, but I noticed they're getting fucked up like nobody's business. Ignore the fact that this is clearly a movie set again, and they shouldn't be taking any actual damage.
Well, I think these are like the actual like ninjas.
Ah. What were the last guys doing when they were hurting them?
I don't know. It's accidents on set, I guess.
I mean, I suppose that's fair. Accidents do happen. Oh man. Okay, I was about to say
Got
we
him.
can only take one more hit.
You just wiped out our...
Damn it!
Again!
Why can't you just leave us alone?
But no...
Why can't you tell me before I slaughtered 20 guys?
Right. Well, and it's like,
Now you
it's not like we're happening across these guys.
Danger from that bushfire, mate.
They're calling for help! I mean, they specifically may not. But somebody is calling and saying ninjas are attacking these people.
You gotta get
How
down
long
there.
could it take to film this fucking scene?
God, I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Man. Like, I get that sometimes, like, accidents happen on movie sets, but it should not be that fucking
Frequent.
impossible to tell
Alec Baldwin.
what is happening. Yeah, it should not be that impossible to tell what's happening. Like, come on now. Whoop. There are a lot of frills out here. Not that it's gonna matter.
Say, not for long, they won't be. Oh, look, they're all gone.
Here's another thing that I think was better in the first game. You have had these ranks almost literally the entire game.
Yeah, that's true. I bought them basically immediately.
Yeah, and like, granted, yeah, you wouldn't know to buy these because they're like objectively the best rangs if you didn't already know, but they're also the most expensive,
Right.
which kind of would lead you to believe that maybe they're the best.
Hell yeah, robot.
Hell yeah. Thanks, robot. You fucking got me when nobody in my life got me.
Hell yeah. God, this adds nothing. There's no difference between doing this with boomerangs or not. But fuck, I love robots. I love mechs and gaming.
That's fair. Mechs in gaming are pretty cool, which is surprising because I really don't like mechs that much in general,
Right.
which I feel like we probably talked about on the show already.
Potentially?
But I'm just like, for mech anime, I'm just like, whatever. But then sometimes I'm not, because like, and obviously this is not a mech anime because it's neither an anime nor is it mech centric.
Right.
But like in Dexter's Lab, his mech, I fucking love that.
Yeah, that thing's super fucking cool.
It's so awesome. I like when he builds a super family mech.
That's even fucking cooler.
So it's like, I don't have a problem with mechs inherently. There's just something about mech anime that just doesn't do it for me, I guess.
They're always so melodramatic.
Well, that's for sure. And I hate it too, because part of me is like, oh man, you know, I gotta watch at least like Evangelion someday, right?
Right.
Like it's, I don't know if I'd say it's the mech anime. I mean, like Gundam exists.
Right.
That's gotta be the mech anime.
I would say.
But Evangelion is like the mech anime for fucking weebs that are full on like
Had their first deep
Weebdom.
thought about anime.
And so it's like, I gotta watch Evangelion. I'm like, man, but I think I might end up hating it. And like, because Evangelion, I guess, was an anime first. Mm-hmm. But then they made it into a manga.
Right, like retroactively someone adapted it.
Right, and so like I've read some of Evangelion, and what little my high school had of Evangelion I liked. Okay.
Right.
But I'm like, but would I like it if I read the whole thing?
Right.
I'm not really sure about that. The parts that I like the least were the really mech heavy parts, and I'm under the impression that it doesn't get less mech heavy over time.
Right. The mechs typically get more and more necessary, like as the show progresses.
I don't know. What's your favorite mech anime?
See, I don't really have one. I haven't really watched any mech animes. I mean,
That's fair though. I'm right there with you.
I've seen a little bit of Code Geass, if that counts.
I don't know if it does or not because I've never seen any of it.
I mean, they fight in mechs, but that's like the other thing they do. Like, it's primarily a not mech show first.
That's fair.
Hold it there, commoner.
Commoner.
Eyes. I am Princess.
All right, I've lowered my eyes. They are now directly on your boobies.
Like what I see.
I was just kidding. I am a princess, though. Say,
Damn, girl. You and me about to get fucking down.
Bush rescue.
Ty.
Push
All
rescue?
about the dangerous, and some might say stupid things you do.
I would agree with that.
Bravery.
Oh, yeah.
So what is this place?
This is the Temple of Karnuk. It's where the bravest of our tribe face trials of danger before they become warriors. Would you like to have a go?
I would say that we're past that point already, though. We've proven ourselves in trial by combat.
Yeah, I think the time for this would have been like at the beginning of tie 1.
You make it.
Interesting. All right.
This completely arbitrarily, admittedly, reminds me of the beginning of Fallout 2. I can't remember. You haven't hardly played any of the Fallouts, right?
No, sir.
Well, you should someday. They're pretty good, except for the parts about them that aren't.
It's on my bucket list at some point. I mean, I love, like, Bethesda games
Right.
as a general rule.
Well,
So I'm
Fallout 1 and 2, they're not Bethesda-like at all. Of course, because they're made by a totally different company. And
Right.
the games at the time just weren't that much alike. It's like Elder Scrolls Arena, I would not describe as Bethesda-like, at least as we know that term in the modern day.
Right.
But, is it just that easy? Okay.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, thanks for these guys for volunteering to help the Tasmanian tigers become fucking men or whatever we're doing.
right. But at the very beginning of Fallout 2, you have to go through a trial.
Right.
Excuse me. And this trial is... Well, first of all, the trial was not intended to be in the game. Mm-hmm. It was mandated by... I forget what the company is now. I'm just at a complete loss for it. But whatever the company that made Fallout initially... they made Fallout 1, but it was done like mostly on the side as a I don't want to say non-legitimate project, because like they literally released it.
Right.
But they weren't actively developing it. Like, a guy was actively developing it with like some help from some other guys who worked there in their spare time, when on their paid time they were developing a game that they were being paid to develop.
Right.
And with 2, of course, after the first one, I guess, was kind of successful as CRPGs at the time were. You didn't have a crazy successful CRPG in the 90s.
Right.
This is not how CRPGs worked. But they released the first one, it did alright. So, okay, we'll make a second one. And the company was like, okay, you gotta have this, like, tutorial-esque section at the beginning of Fallout 2. And so they implemented this trial, quote-unquote... And it's fucking terrible.
Right.
Because if you don't build your character in a very specific way, you are not going to be, like, suited for this trial. And so it either is super easy because you build a character that's designed with the same things that the trial has in mind, or it fucking sucks because you're designed with a good character build.
Fuck.
Or you have a bad character build, which is entirely possible. In the modern day, most people are going to have a decent character build for Fallout 2 going in.
Uh-huh.
But it's kind of like this, where it's like, okay, it's at the very beginning of the game, you know, it's supposed to, quote-unquote, teach you how to play the game, even though it really doesn't.
Uh-huh.
Because it's not... Yeah, like in Fallout 2, it's at the beginning of the game. It's the beginning of the second game.
Uh-huh.
In tie, yeah, here it is, but A, we're closer to the end, and B... It's the second game.
Right. I know how to do all this.
And so it's just like, how do you... And that's a really interesting thing to me, is how do you balance... This game could be someone's first entrance to the series.
Sure.
So we need it to be reasonable for brand new players. But this could be the second game someone's picking up. So
Right.
it needs to be reasonable for people that are playing the second game in the series.
Right.
And I don't know of any game that I can think of off the top of my head that just, like, balances that perfectly. And I don't know if it's even possible to do so.
Sure.
Because, like, some games... Most games do it pretty badly, I feel like, in the grand scheme of things.
Uh-huh.
You start the second game, and you're basically just back to square one. It's like with Metroid... You know, at the end of Metroid 1, you got all these powers, and you're fucking God. And in Metroid 2, you've lost all your powers. In Super Metroid, you've lost all your powers. In Metroid Fusion, you've lost all your powers. So at least there's a story explanation in that one.
Right.
So, like, that in a way kind of improves it. And you can do it the other way around, too. Because, like, Banjo-Tooie, which I think is one of the best examples of, like, a true sequel to a game. Because... In Banjo-Tooie, you literally, at the very beginning of the game, before you've done anything, you have access to all the exact same powers you had at the end of game 1.
You survived the Temple of Karnak.
We did it! We survived the Temple of Karnak! An honorary marsupial lion!
Woo!
And we got...
A
some
fuck
money.
ton of money.
I mean, that's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll fucking take
think
it.
that was necessarily, like, absolutely necessary for a mission, but you can't hardly argue with cash.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in Banjo-Tooie, you have literally exactly the same powers you had at the end of Banjo-Kazooie.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the most literal sense, it's a sequel.
Right.
Everything is literally building on top of the first game. Which is good in a way, but the tutorial for the game, if you haven't ever played before, so the tutorial in Banjo-Kazooie is Spiral Mountain, which is a very well done tutorial. You can play through it if you want to. It teaches you how to do all the basic stuff that you need to know. And it does a really good job. Or you can just skip it. And if you skip it, you can take like 2 minutes to collect all the stuff that's in Spiral Mountain. No problem. And if you choose not to do it, you can still end up with all the stuff. Because the only things that you need to collect in there are empty honeycombs, which give you more health. Which, oh, damn, bro.
Still caught
How'd
it
you
on
die in tie 2?
Still caught it on my way down, though.
Oh, yeah, I forgot porta potties were our fucking respawns.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't been dying a whole bunch.
No, we haven't. We haven't died basically at all. Maybe any? I don't recall for sure.
We haven't died at all. We died once because I fell in the lava because I'm an idiot. But then
that
I
barely
got
counts.
unlucky.
But yeah, with Banjo-Kazooie, you collect all the empty honeycombs, and if you don't collect them all, it doesn't matter, because if you collect all the empty honeycombs that are in Grunty's lair, you can still get maximum health
Right.
when it's all said and done. So there's literally no consequence if you want to skip it.
Right.
Other than it's a tiny, tiny bit harder for the first, like, 2/3 of the game. But we're talking, like, an amount that is barely even noticeable, if at all.
Right.
But then in Tooie, Spiral Mountain is still the tutorial area. But instead of being like an active tutorial where it's like, do you want to do this? Yes? Okay, here, let me teach you how to do everything. For the basic sets of moves, it has molehills all around the area that teach you how to do literally every move from the first game. Mm-hmm. Which is a lot more moves than they taught you in the tutorial for the first game, and it's a lot more poorly executed.
Right.
And so it's like, it's really, really well done for the second game that someone plays, but it's really poorly done for the first game someone would play.
Right.
And part of me is like, when you're making a sequel, is that a literal alien?
I believe so. I've never seen that guy before.
Holy shit, that's not what I expected to see in tie 2. I can't wait to tie 3, by the way, when we get to stuff that Sigrid has no idea about.
Oh, yeah.
I'm honestly pretty fucking hyped.
Despite the fact that I've heard it's all fucking terrible, I'm excited to, like, determine that for myself.
Even if it is terrible, I legitimately think that we're going to have fun.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Unless it's just terrible in, like, a really bad kind of way. If it's terrible in, like, a they should have done stuff differently kind of way, we're going to have a great time.
Oh,
If
yeah.
it's terrible in it doesn't fucking play well, you know, it's difficult to get through because everything's so fucking obtuse, you know, that could be totally different.
Right. You're gonna have a good time, but I won't be.
I don't know, remember Kong? I mean, don't get me wrong, in hindsight, I think back on Kong, like, yeah, that was a good playthrough, because it was. If you haven't seen Kong, not to just chill ourselves over and over in this playthrough, but if you haven't seen Kong, I legitimately recommend at least trying. Give it at least like 3 episodes, because episode 3, I think it was the funniest.
Oh, okay. Well, I woke up at 5 this morning. I had a nice hot shower.
Alright, it's a little bit too
Yeah, all right.
specific.
Speed it up a little bit.
Cup of coffee.
Oh, well, I was just exploring this area when one of the pillars sunk into the lava, stranding me here. I thought I
Yes?
was a runner. Don't worry. Bush rescue to the, rescue. Okay, now follow me. Thanks for saving me, Kai. You're a real hero.
As he pushes us into the lava.
You're a real hero. Alright, extraction, Boss Cass. What do you mean you don't have a helicopter? Do you think Boss Cass needs helicopters, or you just like fly around since he's birds?
Do emus fly?
I don't Actually, no. Maybe.
Probably not, right? They're so big.
I don't know. Let me pull out the handy dandy Google and see. Emu. Not Emmy. Emu. Not Emmy. Emu. Emus. Oh, well, this is easy. Is a species of flightless bird.
Fuck yeah. Boss Cast sucks.
Boss Cast cannot fly.
I feel like we probably should have been able to confidently say that.
I mean, probably, but I didn't have any idea right off the top of my head. Also, it's really funny to me that there was a literal war on emus in Australia.
So funny.
And when you Google them and like pull them up on Wikipedia, they're listed as LC for least concern as far as their conservation status. Humans went to war with emus, and not only did they not win the emu war, that we're not even concerned that they might go extinct someday.
No, we just want them gone. They're a blight on our record as humanity.
We're just like, oh yeah, emus, they're fucking fine. They're gonna be okay. We tried to fucking put them into a bad state, and we couldn't do it.
We fucked up bad. God, there's actually a really funny video about the emu wars. I'll have to show it to you at one point. Not to shill people who are way more successful than us and always will be, and they don't know who we are. But Watcher Entertainment, Shane, Ryan, Puppet History, that's just really fucking good. They did a great one on the emu wars.
Hell yeah. Never heard of them before, but I should check them out.
Yeah, you should. They're really good. They were on BuzzFeed back when BuzzFeed was a thing, if we can imagine that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, but then they got really, really popular, so they were like, hey, we can just do our own fucking company now.
That's fair. I can respect that.
Hell yeah, and we're gonna keep respecting that next time on the Jump Game.